Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Fatalis here, back with part 2 of our VGC tier list, where we left off last time with Camrupt. If you enjoy this content, make sure you drop a like. Also subscribe for more Scarlet and Violet content when it drops. I'll be playing a lot of VGC on my channel and look forward to seeing all of you there. Let's get right into this, shall we? Okay, we're going to start with Zangoose. Zangoose isn't really that great, unfortunately. I don't even really think it has anything going for it, apart from, I think it's got Taunt, but I could be wrong. But, yeah, no, I would try and avoid that. Same with Survivor. Survivor has nothing going for it. Cacturne could be used. Gets access to Sucker Punch. Pretty high-powered Sucker Punch as well. The issue it has is it's not very bulky. But it could get some use, I think. So for that reason alone, we're going to slap Cacturne in B. Oh. Slapping Cacturne in B. Altaria is down here. It only gets really access to Dragon Dance, but even then it's not strong enough to really deal with anything in this current meta. Grumpig's the same, has nothing going for it. I think it only has like Trick Room and stuff, but it's not bulky enough to even do anything. Okay, so now here we go. Someone wanted me to check out Salamence. Salamence is really good in this format. It's getting a new Formy too, which I'm very looking forward to. Issue is I'm getting Violet. It's a Scarlet exclusive. But yeah, that Salamence looks so cool, and I really, really want to use it. I'm hoping it still has Intimidate. If it still has Intimidate, it's going to be insane. So, I think for base elements though, if it was to go Terra Water, it could be really good, especially because it's got access to Hydro Pump. And making that Hydro Pump stab would just be amazing. It also gets access to like Flamethrower, so you could Terra Fire, you could Terra Dragon, you could Terra Flying, you can Terra most things into Ments, which is pretty cool. I think it's in the same boat as D-Knight. I'm going to be honest. I think D-Knight's slightly better though. Tropius, useless. Whiscash is useless. Glalie, useless. There's nothing. None of those three have nothing going for them. I've tried Staraptor in this format. It's not actually that bad, especially when you're Terra Flying. Not Terra Flying, Terra Fighting. You don't even have to use close combat. It won't lower its defenses at all. But Stab Brave Bird and Stab Close Combat, or Terra Fighting Terra Blast, or whatever it's going to be called, I don't know. It's really strong. It can have potential to one-hit KO most mons. Issue is, if you go Terra Fighting, you've got to be aware of Tyranitar's Ghost, but that's fine. Yeah, but Staraptor, I'd say, is a decent B-mon. Maybe up here, but we'll put him high B for now. But yeah, I'd see him having some use. Luxray has Intimidate. It doesn't really have much doubles usage, though, to be honest. Like, it's got Rising Voltage, I guess, but it's not a very good special attacker. And you'd really have to train your Luxray to even be a special attacker. But for that reason alone, I might just chuck it in here. Just because I can see people using it and could bring some success. Not much, but I can see very little people using it and bringing it some justice. Vespiquen is just terrible. It's got nothing for it. It's so weak. That's so little HP that its defenses just make nothing for it. Honestly, I can see Pachirisu being really, really prevalent in this format. Follow Me Nuzzle is already really good. Has access to Helping Hand. Hyperfang 2. Or Superfang. I can't remember which one it was, but it reduces all Pokemon down to half of its HP. Which could be insane for like high ladder VGC. I'm very looking forward to see how Pachirisu does, and I'm sure a very certain someone will be very looking forward to seeing Pachirisu back in the metagame. Floatzel. Floatzel's not great. I mean, it has some power, but it's still so frail that it just can't do anything. It's Swift Swim. I can't remember the other ability for it. It's Swift Swim and something. But it's not really that good enough to do anything. I love Floatzel too. I think he's so cool, but yeah, no. Gastrodon could be, if not one of the best Pokemon in the format. Mostly because of Storm Drain. Storm Drain's going to be insane again, especially if there's a Gyarados on the field, or a Azumarill, or Golduck. Pelipper. Pelipper is really good with it. But yeah, or just Torkoal. Gastrodon Torkoal is a really good combo. But yeah, that could be a real threat on the field, so I'd be aware of Gastrodon, to be honest. It's a world champion too, so it's going to come back with a huge vengeance. Drifblim has some use. It has access to, I think, called Flare Boost, which can like up its special attack if it's burnt. There's also Unburden, which is an incredible ability. You could get off like Power Herb on this thing, and I don't know if it has access to Media Beam or anything like that, but it could be really, really good. I could see Drifblim working, but it just needs some time to sort of settle in and see what it's coming up against. So I'm gonna put it in B. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Miss Magus, it could be good. It needs some like really good partner to kind of keep it alive. But it can be really devastating if you know how to use Miss Magus. For that reason, I'm gonna put Miss Magus in B. I think it has some potential. Not as much as I'd say maybe Pelipper, but it's up there. I'd say it could probably counter Pelipper quite well because it's got really good special bulk. But other than that, no, it's gonna be sticking there. Honchkrow. Honchkrow's got Sucker Punch, which can be scary. Um, I think its pre-evolution will be better. Due to Prankster, gets Tailwind, Taunt, all of the like support moves. I think he gets access to Rain Dance as well. But Honchkrow gets access to Sucker Punch, a really devastating Sucker Punch as well. Like it could hit hard if you're not careful. So for that reason alone, I might actually chuck Honchkrow also in B with Miss Majors. I think it could be really useful. Bronzong is actually a really good Trick Room setter. Has access to Alloy Switch, Reflect Light Screen, Heavy Slam, which can do devastating damage. Body Press, Iron Defense. This thing could be really, really, really difficult to get rid of, especially with Heat Roof. If you don't have a Levitate Mon, you could go with a Heat-Proof Bronzong and terraform it into a Flying type. That way it can't get hit by Ground type moves. And then the only way it can actually get hit is with Electric types and Ice types, and even then that should be able to tank a few hits. So for that reason, I might actually chuck Bronzong up in very good in the format. I don't think it would be the best Trick Room setter. I think that would still belong to like Slowbro. Actually, no, I actually reckon Bronzong could be the best Trick Room setter, to be honest. You can know how to use it, it could be insanely good. Spiritomb, it's got too little HP to even do anything. I'm pretty sure it gets access to like Hypnosis, but even then, that's not 100% accurate. Like, I'd rather have an 100% accurate move. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Spiritomb in. Please try and avoid it. I love Spiritomb too. Garchomp, I'm gonna put in very good in the format. There's a reason I'm putting Garchomp here, and it's because Scale Shot, Sword Stance. Pretty much, it can actually have potential to sweep. You can also terrestrialize it and into just a dragon type. That way it can only get hit by ice type moves, fairy type moves. That's it. That's the only thing that can really hit it. And then everything else is either neutral or weak against. So I would say Garchomp could be a real threat this generation, and I'm very looking forward to seeing if it can actually reach up to the heights of expectations that people make it out to be. Lucario. Now, from revealing the trailer the other day, we got a Lucario that had a dragon type terraform, which was interesting. Could get stab Dragon Pulse. Could also do the same with Dark as well, with stab Dark moves. That could be pretty scary. Lucario is just a really good mix attacker. If you couldn't get a physical Lucario, I don't know how you'd be able to get a physical like Dragon and Dark move on it. Um, but you could make this thing into an absolute monster with Justified. Like it could be a real threat real quick, and you'd have to try and get rid of it. Um, I think for this format, it could potentially be the same. Oh, okay, be the same as Garchomp. It has some usage, 100%. I can definitely see it doing well. Hippowdon, I think it's one of those mons that's better in singles because it's really bulky, has access to Slack Off. Yawn as well, which is really good for like pivoting. Um, Honestly, I reckon Hippowdon could be kind of good. It just needs some EV investments, and yeah, you should be golden. I reckon B for our boy. Luminion has access to Storm Drain, but it's not the best Storm Drain user. Although it's a lot faster than Gastrodon. Gastrodon just has a better typing overall with ground and water, which means its only super effective type is actually grass. So Luminion is actually in a really, really tight situation where it can't really be used, but I can see people trying to use it and doing actually very, very, very well with it. So let's jump Luminion straight into B. I reckon it can have some use. Not gonna lie. Snow could have actually returned. A bomber Snow, my god. Um, if you can get Snow in at the right moments and make sure it's the right Terra type, this thing can be a threat and set up all the ice types in the region, which is absolutely mental. A bomber Snow might actually return, and its Snow Warning will be coming down as a huge threat. Especially when it's the only weather setter that's actually ice in this generation. I think if Aurorus is not in the game, which I don't think it is. No, it's not. But yeah, a Bomber Snow could be insanely good. I think a Bomber Snow could be a Beatmon. Just be careful of fire types, because yeah, they just wreck that thing. Weavile has always been prevalent in the better game, especially with Fake Out, Knockoff, Icicle Crash. This thing can hit really hard if you don't know how to deal with it. And it could be really scary to deal with in this metagame, especially because now it can terraform. Um, so with that reason alone, I'm gonna pop it in B as well with its partner in crime. Uh, Magnezone is a better singles mon, but it has some doubles usage, I guess. You could run support on it, so I'm gonna put it in very good in format. It has access to Reflect Light Screen, also Volt Switch, which is pretty nice. Flash Cannon, Stab as well. If you can run Air Balloon on this, like it has literally no immunities. Um, the only super effective moves it has is like Fire, I think. I don't think there's any other typing it's weak against. If you pop an Air Balloon on it, nope. Yeah, so I'm gonna put Magnezone here. I think it's got some potential to be really good. Frostlass could be insane. It's one of the fastest ice types, I think. Um, and has access to Frost Breath, which could activate both Tauros and Primape's Anger Point, which could be mental. Same with Crocodile. I forgot about Crocodile, but Crocodile will be super effective, so you got to be aware of that. So for that reason, I might actually put Frostlass in B, just because it has access to Frost Breath. It also has Destiny Bond. It has some really good like pivot moves as well. It can be a real threat real quick, especially with Snowcloak, so I'd be aware of that Pokemon. Rotom Heat had some really good usage last season, more than Rotom Wash, which I was really surprised about. But both Rotom Heat and Wash are insane. Especially with Volt Switch, Trick, uh, has access to uh, Overheat and Hydro Pump. Both really, really good mons, and to be fair, I'm very much looking forward to see how they do in this format. Um, they're pretty bulky too, so yeah, we're gonna pop them both in the same tier and have them in the same tier. I think they're pretty good overall. Hisuian Samurott could be pretty good. The issue I think it has is the fact that I generally think it could just be a better singles mon than a doubles mon. But Ceaseless Edge could be really useful for chip. Um, Aquajet 2 has got priority. It has access to shell armor, I think is its hidden ability, which doesn't allow any crits to hit it, which could be absolutely insane in some of the meta. Um, so I might put Hisuian Samu in. Could work if used correctly. I generally think it has a niche. Hisuian Lilligant I've not used yet, but it seems like one of those Pokemon, if you set up Quiver Dance, it can definitely sweep. Um, Especially if you Terra into, I think it's Grass. I can't remember what Terra type you have to like put it into, but yeah, it just becomes a pretty good mon. Same with normal Lilligant. I think normal Lilligant's more of the support, whereas Hisuian is more the offensive Lilligant. But yeah, both of them have a really specific niche and could be very much used to people's advantages. And look forward to seeing Lilligant in this generation. Try and have its time in the spotlight without having Whimsicott there. Crocodile. Crocodile's really good. Has probably has three of the top abilities, to be fair. Has access to Intimidate, has access to Moxie, and it also has access to Anger Point, which I mentioned earlier would work with Frostlass. Issue is the fact that it's ground type. The only way I could really say that you could actually get a niche out of Crocodile is if you terraform it into a type that's weak against ice. Then that way you can get the critical hit off, but also get an anger point boost and raise your attack to pretty much max. So Crocodile could be insane, um, if used correctly. So for that reason, I might put Crocodile in very good in the format, just in case people can figure out how to get the anger point thing settled off with terraforming. And then Crocodile could be huge. Crossel I don't really see much use out of. I'm very, very sorry to the one person I know that loves Crossel. Um, but yeah, Crossel is just not great in VGC. I mean, I guess if you can Terra into straight rock type, Shell Smash, maybe set up Tailwind as well. Crossel has a chance to do something, but like you'd have to really set up your team to be able to do that. So Crossel, I'm afraid, could work if used correctly, but I don't want to say it's bad by any means. Um, Hisuian Zoroark. Um, hmm. I could see it working ish. I mean, it's normal ghost, right? That's a really good typing. Holy God. It wouldn't even need to change its typing. Like you could legit just you could bring it onto the field as like an ice type, press like a dark move or something, or like anything that can. And if your opponent clicks a fighting move straight into that slot, it just won't get hit at all. Like, you'd think, oh yeah, it's a normal type, get a hit. Nope, ghost type. So, I think Hisuian Zoroark could be a real troll. Yeah, I reckon it's gonna be a B. I think it could be really, really useful, especially for trolling. Um, just saying for those trolls out there, please don't do this. It'll be really annoying. Thank you. Um, But yes, normal Zoroark on the other hand doesn't really have much of a niche. I'm sorry, it's just a dark type. It's so obvious. Um, I guess if you have the Hisuian Zoroark in your team, what they should do is make it so it's a normal Zoroark, like in the team preview. Then that way you won't know what sort of Zoroark you're coming up against. I think it would just be so much easier as well, and it could actually really, really put people off. I know normal Zoroark isn't even great, but for Hisuian, like it needs a chance to shine, and I want Hisuian Zoroark to have a chance to shine because that thing is a fucking badass. Like, look at it, it's so cool. Swordspark, yeah, sorry, it's just not good. Like, there's nothing really going for it. Uh, Amoongus, you know what? I don't know about its new form. It could be amazing, I don't know. But Amoonguss on its own is already one of the best Pokemon in the format. It has Rage Powder, Spore, Clear Smog. Also gets access to Pollen Path, Protect, Substitute. You could really make a ridiculous set with this thing, and it could live most attacks. It has access to Regenerator too, which is insane. One of the best abilities in the game, as well as Slowbro. But yeah, I'd say it's better than Slowbro just because it has access to Rage Powder. It can take attacks for its teammate. But yeah, I think other than that, it's a pretty cool mon. I love Amoonguss. Uh, we'll get a couple more. We'll get this last, like, 11 done, and then we'll end the video there, I think. Avalog, just don't even bother using it. Special defense is just terrible. The only other way I could really say you could use this thing is if you're running a Trick Room team, but even then, it's not good enough to even like do enough damage. So yeah, well, I don't get the point of using it. Electros could be actually pretty good in this gen. Gastro Acid Volt Switch, Flamethrower has access to really good coverage moves. Levitate too. You could make this thing into maybe Ghost type or like anything like that. It will have access to Levitate. Maybe terraform into Electric. That way, its electric damage can be insanely powerful. Yeah. I reckon Electros might have some uses generation, and I'd slap it straight into the B tier. Haxorus again, I think will be a B tier mon. It's got a unique niche as well, where you can just use Break and Swipe to hit both opponents. Um, and it can is it Break and Swipe that hits both? I can't remember. I know there's a move that hits both, but I think it has Dragon Dance as well. It can be really threatening if you can sweep this thing, but maybe terraforming it into something that can tank hits easier would actually probably benefit for Haxorus. It could have some uses though. Beartic, another good one, could actually terraform into a water or fighting type. But other than that, it's too frail to really do anything. It does hit quite hard, to be fair. If you can get it into like Slush Rush, I think it gets Swift Swim now. I can't remember what abilities it gets exactly, but it could be insanely good. For that reason, I'm gonna slap Beartic straight into this tier. I'm afraid. Although, it could work. It could work, 100%. Bishop has access to Sucker Punch. Defiant boost as well, which is really good with Intimidate. So if your opponent is running Intimidate, you could just switch in your Bishop and just get off a Defiant. And then, yeah, they will run in panic. Because, yeah, it's a pretty strong mon overall. Bishop, yeah, we'll be going in with Haxorus, I think. It's got a niche, 100%. Same with Braviary. Braviary as well has that sort of unique niche where it has Defiant, and it also has Sheer Force. Having that with like Brave Bird is so strong. Weakness Policy as well could actually really boost this Pokemon so much. Hydreigon might actually be one of the best Pokemon in this entire tier. This game. Due to the fact that you can Terra Steel, and it has Levitate, so you can't get hit by ground type moves. It has access to Flash Cannon too, which is very good for fairy types, so it could probably potentially one-shot the likes of Sylveon. It could one-shot Guardy, it could one-shot Wigglytuff, it could one-shot pretty much most of the fairies in this entire game. It also has access to Dark Pulse, so it's dealing with Slowbro, Slowking, all the ghost types, Bronzong, access to fire moves to deal with Scissor, water moves to deal with Arcanine. It has so much coverage that you're basically guaranteed to see a Hydreigon on at least one team in the 7 games you probably will play. So if there's going to be a mon that's going to be prevalent, it'll be Hydreigon, and it also has one of its new evolutions as well, which actually looks dope, and I'm so looking forward to Hydreigon getting some love again. Okay, so next one is going to be Volcarona. Volcarona has Rage Powder, has Quiver Dance, Heat Wave, Fiery Dance that raises special attack. It also gets access to maybe you could Terra Grass, and then that way Fire moves, yeah, fire moves will hit it, but it would still, yeah. Maybe Terra Grass would be really good with this. That way you can deal with like opposing water types and ground types and rock types. So yeah, I reckon Volcarona could be very good in this format. It just needs to, have a sort of teammate to help it out and help dish out some of that huge damage that it has. Chestnut is not going to be great. Chestnut, when it was actually introduced into VGC, wasn't great, to be fair. It's a shame because yeah, I like Chestnut quite a bit. I think it was my starter choice in. No, it wasn't. No, Greninja was my starter choice in XY. But yeah, Chestnut, no, it's not really that good. The only thing it has really going is bulletproof, and even that's not great. Delphox might have a use. I mean, Magician takes the item of the ally that's fainted, so you could technically like start off the game with a choice spec Pokemon next to Delphox, and then if that one dies, Delphox takes the choice specs and powers up its next move, which will be kind of good. But the issue is Delphox is not even that bulky, so it can't really tank any hits. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put it in could work if correctly. Greninja actually has some doubles usage. Map Block has Dark Pulse, has Hydro Pump, Water Shuriken. It has some really good priority to Shadow Sneak, U-Turn. It could be a really insane pivot mon, so yeah, Greninja could be really good. I'm looking forward to seeing it back in the format. I haven't seen it in a while. But yes, Greninja will be there. Uh, Talonflame, Talonflame, Talonflame. Talonflame has access to Gale Wings Tailwind. Gale Wings yeah, to Gale Wings Tailwind, Gale Wings Brave Bird as Flare Blitz. It could be pretty good. It has dual wing beat as well. I reckon Talon's gonna be a B as well. It's gonna probably be the best Tailwind setter we've got because of Gale Wings, but yeah. Other than that, I think it's gonna be pretty good. We'll jump into maybe Vivillon now. Yeah, Vivillon don't touch. It's not good. I guess it gets Rage Powder, but even still, it just doesn't do enough. Pyroar, same. I like Pyroar too. I just don't know if it will do much. Florges could have some use. Aromatherapy, good bulk. Aloe Switch, I think it gets as well. A Stab, Moonblast, Wish, Protect, Substitute. It could be a really annoying mon to deal with. But it's very weak to physical. Same with Tentacruel, so if you can get this thing to work, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I highly doubt it. We'll get up to Sylveon, and then we'll end the video there. Um, Go-Go is not gonna be great. I'm gonna be honest. Boulder, I guess it gets access to Bulldoze, Horn Leech, Rock Slide. It gets some pretty good like coverage moves, but it just doesn't have enough stats to justify its unique move pool. Pangoro, if used correctly, it can be a pretty good doubles mon. Um, you'd mostly want to use it as like Muck Punch, Sucker Punch with Iron Fist. I'm pretty sure it gets Iron Fist. Um, and then that way it can hit quite hard. Gets access to Drain Punch too. So if your Mon gets hit by a Drain Punch by this thing, it was probably guaranteed KO. It's that strong. But other than that, yeah, it's one of those ones where you'd probably have to try and use it to be good with it. Chloritzer, I mean, its ability is mostly better in singles, but I could see some usage in doubles too. Of its ability is Mega Launcher, which ups Pulse and Aura moves, I think. Pulse and Aura, yeah. So Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse all get powered up by Chloritz's ability, which is pretty cool, but only it can use it, and its speed isn't the greatest, so it's not going to get enough of those off. Sylveon could be the most insane fairy type in this entire game. Pixelate, terraformed into a fairy type, adaptability boosted hyper voice will be terrifying. Especially if you have throat spray. If you can set this thing up, it's gonna guarantee pick up some KOs. Sylveon could be one of the most dangerous evolutions in this game. Hands down. I mean, Umbreon I know is already dangerous, but yeah, Sylveon could be even more dangerous, I have to admit. Okay, and that will sum up this video. This is part 2 of 3. If you enjoyed this, make sure you drop a like. Also, if you're new around here, subscribe. And we will be releasing part 3 maybe on Monday or Tuesday. But tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, Saturday, I will be streaming some Splatoon 3. Where we'll be playing through the Splatfest um, with viewers, which will be fun. I hope to see you guys there. But for now, though, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thank you so much. Love yous.